Hello everyone, and welcome to my very first YouTube video. Thanks for stopping by. Please bear with me, I am new to this whole video thing. Big shout out to Earl for giving me the push to finally give this thing a try. So today on the bench, I am working on a Seiko Coutura Perpetual, caliber 70-48 movement. This particular watch belongs to an attorney that I work with at a patent law firm. It was a gift from his wife over 20 years ago, so it's pretty special. Unfortunately, the capacitor is dead, so I'm going to replace it and bring this bad boy back to life. Sorry, I'm just trying to get this framing correct. This watch features a Seiko Kinetic movement. Just like an automatic watch, it has a rotor that spins when you move your wrist. But instead of winding the mainspring, the rotor powers a tiny generator that produces electricity, which gets stored in a capacitor that I'm going to replace. The stored energy then drives the quartz oscillator, and that's what keeps the time on this watch. The main tool that you would need for this particular watch is a pin pusher tool. That yellow block there is the bracelet holder. You put the bracelet on its side, which gives you easy access to the hole. You stick the pin pusher through and push the pin out. All right, so the bracelet's off and we're looking at the dial. And I think it's a pretty good looking dial. Turn the case over. What I have here is the case back opener. You align the pins from the tool with the grooves on the back of the case. And lefty-loosey. Once it's loose, I come in with this blue rubber ball to finish unscrewing the case back. So I'm going to blow some air to make sure there's no dust in there. I'm going to put on some finger cuts. Yes, I use protection. Shout out to Ducky. All right, time to get surgical. So what I'm going to do here is remove the rotor by unscrewing that screw on top. Carefully remove the screw and the rotor. Once you place the rotor aside, remove the gear from the center post. I have no idea why I'm showing it off like that. Unscrew the two screws that holds down the battery. These screws are very tiny. I'm going to try my best not to lose it. Once the screws are off, you take out this guy here. I'm not sure what the proper terminology is for this guy, but I'm going to call it the battery tie down. Shout out to all you car guys out there. And then you remove this plastic film here. Here it is, the capacitor battery, 302324X. I'll leave the link to this in the description. There's a little button to remove the crown stem from the case. The reason why I'm removing the crown stem is to remove the movements from the case. Right now, I'm just finagling the movement so I can get it out of the case. Once the movement is out, I'm going to place it in this movement holder and make sure the hands on the dial is not touching anything. With the movement out, I'm going to put the bracelet case and case back into this ultrasonic jewelry cleaner, and I will leave the link for this cleaner in the description. After 2 rounds of the ultrasonic cleaning, look how beautiful the bracelet, the case, and the case back look. Very shiny. Now it's time to put everything back together again with the new capacitor. To make sure everything is dry, I came in with the air blower on the case and the case back to make sure there's no water in the crevices. Blowing off dust so I can put in the replacement capacitor. Just making sure everything's aligned. All right, putting the film on, and same concept. Make sure the pins from the movements are inserted in the eyelet so it can align properly. Laying down the battery tie down, make sure it's aligned, and then screw it back in. Apologies for the defocusing. I do have proper equipment because I am a photographer. Um, I was too lazy to pull it out, so I'm using my phone, and that's why I am having trouble focusing. If this video does well, then I'll bring out the proper equipment for next time I do something like this. You can see the second hand moving, which is typically a good sign. What I'm doing here is cleaning off all the chrome down markers, making sure it's spotless and shiny. You can see how the second hand has a weird rhythm. That's because when a new capacitor is installed, it usually has minimum charge, and the second hand will skip like that to indicate that it has low power. Now that all that's done, time to put on the case. the case is on, I'm going to flip it around. Pushing in the movement to make sure it's sitting in the case properly. Putting in the crown stem and then blowing some air to make sure no dust is in there before I close the case back up. Now I'm going to reassemble the rotor. And again, if this video does well, I'll use proper equipment so we can avoid having these defocusing issues. The original O-ring, when I pulled it out, it got deformed, so I'm going to replace it. I closed the case and put it on this case holder here, and I'm going to fasten it by using the case back tool that I used to open it with. Now I'm in the process of putting the bracelet back on the case. Stick the pin in the hole there. A little hammering to make sure the pin goes in all the way. Do the same thing with the other side. And it's all done. All right, the service is done. And as you can see there, the second hand is ticking properly. The goal was to return the watch in better form than when I received it, and I think I accomplished that. Thank you, Steve, for having trusted me to service your watch, and I hope you enjoy it for years to come. And thank you to those who watched this video entirely. You guys are awesome. Have a good one.